usul is the foundation or principle. The principle is called so because it provides foundation or principle of jurisprudence and is concerned with proper method of deducing laws of Sharia from their sources. Usul deals with the primary sources of Islamic law, Al-Quran and the Sunnah. Usul discuss the characteristic of Quran and the Sunnah and what are the method of deduction of law from the Quran and Sunnah. Fiqh is Islamic jurisprudence. Fiqh is often described as the human understanding of the Sharia. That is human understanding of the divine Islamic law as revealed in the Quran and the Sunnah, the teachings and practice of the Islamic Prophet Muhammad. Usul al-Fiqh, the sources of Islamic law and the discipline dedicated to elucidating them and their relationship to the substantive ruling of the law. The field of Usul al-Fiqh encompasses theoretical discussion of the nature of religious law, its relationship to reason and ethics, and its derivation from the Quran, the Prophet Sunnah, practice of the Prophet Muhammad as transmitted through his saying, action and tacit approval, ijma' and qiyas, as well as a number of other possible sources.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammad Faiz Fadzli, message number 264364. Okay, for today, I would like to explain to you about the differences between the Usul Fiqh and also the Qawaid Fiqh. Okay, first thing first, Usul Fiqh, as mentioned in the definition, is the general evidence, while for the Qawaid Fiqh, it is the general rulings. Okay, the focus of the Usul Fiqh is evidence and also the ruling, whereas for the Qawaid Fiqh, it focuses on the action of the mukallaf. Most of the issue in the Usul Fiqh do not act as something that may lead to the reason and purposes which sanctioning, and this differs to the Qawaid Fiqh, which lead to the path of knowing the reason behind the Sharia ruling itself, as well as the maqasid Sharia, both generally and also specifically. Okay, I would like to highlight the differences between the Usul Fiqh and also the Qawaid Fiqh. We start with the term. For the Usul Fiqh, it is concerned with the methodology and also the legal reasoning, whereas for the Qawaid Fiqh, the maxim is based on the fiqh itself. For the ruling for the Usul Fiqh, it is derived from the method which applies the deducing law, whereas for the Qawaid Fiqh uses the ruling from the principle of the law. And lastly, the sources from the Usul Fiqh is derived from the external part of the fiqh, whereas from the Qawaid Fiqh, the sources is derived or taken from the internal part of the fiqh itself. That's from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Izzian Binti Salmi. My matrix number is 2646 and 68. Okay, here we can see the function of the Usul Fiqh. Okay, Usul Fiqh as a tools, mean and method to obtain the law of the Sharia from the Al-Quran and Hadith in matters of the faith, transaction, uqubah, worship and also morality. Then Usul Fiqh also preserving religion from the deviation and misuse of the proposition. This will be guided by the Usul Fiqh. The law produced through the ijtihad is still recognized by the Sharia. Then the function of the Usul Fiqh also important in controlling the method of the proposition by distinguishing between the authentic proposition and also the false proposition. Okay, this is because nowadays the various length of the proposition are easily spread through the social media such as the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and so on. So this can make people confused. Then Usul Fiqh also give the effect to the ijtihad become more easy in issuing law or that appropriate to the new methods that arise or the law for the common or for the current situation. Okay, as we know that the rules of the fatwa is something that very heavy because it is a law of the Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. So that the existence of the Usul Fiqh will help in facilitating the research process about to obtain the law of the Sharia. Then this Usul Fiqh also help in maintaining the principle of the proposition and also refuting the ambiguity of the deviant group where the mujtahid will control the method of the debate and the discussion, and they will refer to the authentic and also authoritative proposition. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nur Atirah Binti Muhammad Faeizam and my metric number 26482C. Okay, now the importance of Usul Fiqh. First, scholar can produce more precise law based on solid proposition. Second, we will know how scholar and mujtahid issue the law. Third, Usul Fiqh knowledge of the method that explain the jurist about the way of the inferring the law from the Islamic argument. Fourth, we also can know how the scholar set new law that are not found in Al-Quran and Sunnah, but they should process from the agreement come from the Allah and Prophet. And lastly, to know the causes of the legal dispute among scholars and to make scientific differences, and the law will always change according to the development of the time and the needs of society. Thank you.
Afiqah Bt Sotar, metric number 264515. I want to present about the Scholar of Usul Fiqh. Scholar of Usul Fiqh are divided into two, namely Mujtahid Mustaqil and Mujtahid Mutasib, or we call it Mujtahid Mazhab. The number of Mujtahid Mustaqil is less than the number of Mujtahid Mazhab. Before that, let me tell you first the difference between both of it. Mujtahid Mustaqil is a scholar who issue his own view without being tied to any scholar before the contemporaries with them to issue a law from Quran and Sunnah. Mujtahid Mazhab is student or follower of Mujtahid Mustaqil. They have the ability to perform ijtihad, but is it not free because they are bound by the scholar of Mujtahid before them. Let me tell you, among the scholar of Mujtahid Mustaqil are Imam Abu Hanifah, Imam Al-Auza'i, Imam Sufyan As-Sawri, Imam Al-Laits bin Sa'ad, Imam Malik bin Anas, Imam Al-Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Daud Az-Zahiri, Ibnu Jaril At-Tabiri. While scholar of Mujtahid Mazhab are Imam Abu Yusuf, Muhammad bin Al-Hasan As-Saibani, Ismail bin Yahya bin Ismail Al-Muzani, Ar-Rabi' bin Sulaiman Al-Mudari, Yusuf bin Yahya Al-Buwaiti, Ibnu Al-Qasim, Imam Abu Talib, Al-Qadi Abu Ya'la, Imam Ibnu Hazmi Andalusi. Thank you.